The reason we overthink is not because we don't know what to do. We overthink because we don't believe that we can handle whatever comes after we do something. Because deep down, there is a part of us that doubts that we can handle whatever comes next, that we can handle the consequences. We hold this belief that things have to be a certain way in order for us to feel okay, right? To feel safe, to feel worthy, to feel lovable, to feel accepted. And that okayness, it actually has nothing to do with logic. It has everything to do with how safe we feel within ourselves, how much we trust ourselves. Because when we don't fully trust ourselves to handle what comes next, when we are afraid of that rejection, of the disappointment, how that will make us feel, what happens is the mind jumps in and it tries to protect us by running in circles, by spinning scenarios, by analyzing every single move. And that's what happened. It's just literally the mind kicks in because the job of the mind is to keep us safe, to keep us protected. So you may find, let's say in your relationship, analyzing every text or scanning for people's behavior, the change in behavior, become hyper vigilant. And then you're wondering, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Am I too much? Am I too little? So your brain then tries to solve this uncertainty by overanalyzing in order to protect you from that emotional discomfort, to protect you from feeling rejected. And maybe in your career, you overanalyze what to say in that message, how to have that conversation, to apply for promotion, to ask for a raise. So you tie your sense of worth, your sense of value to whether you are praised, whether you're seen as competent, approved, etc. So you overthink your every single move as a way to avoid disappointments. Make sense? So it's not a logical issue, it's an emotional. And there are some areas in your life where you're going to be feeling more ease, more flow, where you can actually move through the challenges. But in other areas, you're going to feel completely stuck. You're going to overthink and overanalyze. And the reason for that, it's not a coincidence. It's not by chance that you feel more competent, more kind of in tune with one area, but stuck in the other. The reason for that is because the area where you struggle with the most, this is the area where you can grow the most. This is the area where your true potential lies. And this is where your fears, your doubts, your insecurities show up the loudest, not to punish you, but to give you an opportunity to transform them. And this is just the way your subconscious mind is communicating with you. It's like, hey, here's the coping mechanism, overthinking. It makes you feel anxious and stressed, feeling like you're self-doubting yourself. Again, it's not because it wants to punish you, but because it needs you to step up. And without that signal, you wouldn't be paying attention. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, awesome. So overthinking is not about indecision. It's literally your mind working overtime, trying to make sense of the emotions that you haven't fully acknowledged and you haven't processed. And behind every mental loop, there is fear, there is doubt, there is a need, there is something from your past that still got grip on you. And when these emotions are not expressed, when they're not addressed, the mind literally, again, it just jumps in and tries to fix things by thinking more analyzing, more worrying, more problem solving. And the longer then you stay stuck in this overthinking, the more you lose touch with what's true for you, with your confidence, with your trust. And breaking free from this overthinking patterns doesn't come from doing more, from trying to figure out, from logic your way out through. It actually comes to connecting to you, to reconnecting and understanding those emotions. And the reason it's so important is because your emotions, they determine your decisions, which lead to your actions, which determine results, and ultimately your entire life. So if you want to change anything in your life, if you want to change results you're getting, whether it's in your relationship, career, your purpose, your health, you've got to start looking at the underlying emotion that's driving this mental loop. And this is why emotional awareness, your ability to notice, to understand your emotions, is such a game changer, because it gets you out of your head and into alignment. So this masterclass isn't going to be about strategic thinking or positive thinking, but it's going to be about building this real emotional awareness, because that's the only way out of this mental loops. And trust me, I've been there before and I'm still walking this journey. So what I want to do now is actually I'm going to share my screen and I want to show you this graph so we can actually understand what emotion really is and what's happening there. Because emotion is not just some inconvenient random feeling that we can just sweep aside and forget about it, even though we may try, because we really don't want to feel a lot of them. But that's why they still keep on coming back over and over and over and over, getting us stuck in the same mental loops. The word emotion literally means energy in motion. It's energy that's flowing through us, that's giving us the experience of life. And more positive emotions we generate, like curiosity, enthusiasm, joy, excitement, passion, the more energy we generate inside ourselves. And this energy is very different from the energy that we get from the outside world, from exercising, eating healthy, sleeping. That's still obviously important, but that energy is finite. The energy we can start generating within us by transforming these emotions, this energy is infinite. And when your energy flows freely, positively, your mind becomes clearer, your thinking becomes more focused, and also less prone to overthinking. So on the other hand, when you are stuck in negative emotions like fear, doubt, blame, shame, etc., this traps your energy. That's a very low energetic energy emotions. And what it happens, it puts pressure on your nervous system. It basically screams, I'm not safe, I'm not safe. And what happens when your nervous system isn't safe, the mind goes, okay, I've got to protect her. I've got to go back to her coping mechanism. And a coping mechanism is overthinking or controlling or trying to fix something or people pleasing or whatever that is, right? We all have our different coping mechanisms. So by learning to understand that emotional trigger, what drives that mental loop, you start creating space. You start reconnecting back to yourself and you start changing the pattern, because that's all overthinking is. Overthinking is, can often feel like a mental habit that we cannot control, but actually it's just a pattern. It's the pattern, a response to a deeper emotion like fear, uncertainty, need to control.